What can you do with a book of photos that you can't do on a wall? Kevin Landers answers, in a gallery you might look at one thing and miss three. In a book you can see everything at once or go back and re-look. The way I became interested in photography was by looking at books. We didn't get Gary Winogrand shows in Palma. Just seeing the Arbus book with the twins and Robert Frank, The Americans was huge. It was the same when I heard the Sex Pistols for the first time. Music exploded for me. I had been listening to 60s classic rock, and this was so raw and it was about something. The photo books were like that. There were people who did this, and that's the way they lived, making those pictures. I wanted to be one of those people. I first purchased this book, Jackpot by Kevin Landers, in a secondhand bookstore when I was about 20 years old. That was around the same time I was getting really serious about film photography and starting to take notice of photo books and different photographers. Kevin Landers is a street photographer who photographs the Lower East Side of New York City. This is nothing new, this has been done before, but I wanted to share this book with you because I don't really hear a lot of people talking about Kevin Landers or this book, and when you Google him, you don't really get a lot of information. His use of color and seemingly snapshot style reminds me a lot of Eggleston, and funnily enough, Kevin cites Eggleston as a big influence to him in the interview at the beginning of the book. Also, he mentions Diane Arbus, Mary Ellen Mark, and Helen Levitt, who are all great photographers as well. Street photography is very popular in the film community and here on YouTube, and it is a style that I have a lot of respect for, but it's one that I don't practice myself necessarily, and I don't absorb a lot of that sort of style of photography. He stumbles across a lot of very sort of unique moments on the streets of New York City. But the ones that really speak to me are the pictures where there are no people. So sort of like these artifacts of the street and these sort of remnants of people. And yeah, like I said, his use of color and composition is really expert. And I feel like if Eggleston was to take his photography to the streets of New York, this is sort of the result that he would get. So I wanted to share this book as it is really special to me, and I feel like it is quite unknown. So hopefully it can inspire you in your photography. So these two images here are some that really stand out to me. Red is a color that I feel looks really, really good on film and is a theme throughout this book. It's definitely a theme in my photography as well, and one that I notice in Eggleston's work. So I'm assuming that Kevin Landers probably saw that as well, as he's cited him as an influence. So again, we see this red theme repeated here. I'm assuming this guitar case was probably belonging to like a busker on the street. And there's just a few coins and one like lone cigarette that just pops against the red. This photo here of the lady with the rollers in her hair reminds me a lot of the Eggleston photo of the back of the lady's head in the diner. And also the Australian band Exec have a record cover with a photo on it that's taken by Robin Daly, who I will link below for you to check out. She's an Australian photographer. She's amazing. This photo here looks to me like flash has been used, which I'm a really big fan of. The way that it's illuminating like all these bright colors of the like price tags is really nice. And the more you look down into this like red handbag here, you can see the packet of cigarettes that says Parliament on it, because obviously that was back then when cigarettes were still branded. And yeah, it's just like an interesting little scene, and probably one that most people would just walk past and take for granted, I think. And yeah, I think Kevin Landers is really kind of noticing like the unnoticed and collecting all these like moments like from the street. So again here, Kevin has made use of the flash. I'm not sure what camera he was using. It does say at the beginning that he was shooting a lot of medium format, But yeah, if you know anything about Kevin Landers or you've heard of him, please comment below and let me know, as yeah, I've never really had any sort of conversation with anyone about him. These shots here are so simple but so effective. This composition of the coffee cup and the like lit sort of half cigarette just sitting there, like been left by someone, is to me just amazing. It's definitely something I would probably want to photograph. And then the menus on the other side here are just like, yeah, small little detail of something that most people would definitely just walk past. And I feel like that's what it means to be a photographer. It's to sort of see those things that other people aren't really seeing. There's a really great interview at the start of this book with Kevin Landers, which gives you huge insight into how he got into photography, who he's inspired by, and yeah, just generally him just on photography. There was a particular part that I wanted to share with you, sort of Kevin Landers on art, I suppose. So the interviewer asks, some of your photographs look like snapshots. What distinguishes you from the engaged amateur? And Kevin Landers says, almost nothing. Only if they intend to take an artful picture and do it again and again are they making art. I think art happens in our minds as we look at a picture. You can also appropriate an image as art by appreciating it and showing it to someone else. This really spoke to me, as I do consider myself kind of like a bit of a snapshot photographer, I suppose. I don't spend a long time setting up shots, and I'm just sort of grabbing moments as I go, and I do like using like point and shoot cameras. So this really spoke to me because sometimes I think, you know, am I a real photographer, I suppose? And yeah, I think what Kevin said here is that the more you do something, like the more impact it has. So the fact that I take photos every day and I keep repeating that process kind of makes it art, and that's what sets me apart from somebody who is just taking a snapshot like at a family gathering or something like that. So I really liked his answer to the question here, and I love the simplicity in his photography and how he talks about it in the interview. So there you go, guys. That's Kevin Landers and his book Jackpot. I hope that this was something new for you to discover and look into. If you're already a fan or you own this book, please comment below and let me know if you have any more information on Kevin Landers. I did jump on Amazon just before and have a look for this book, and for it to be delivered to Australia, it was about $5 for a secondhand copy and $7 for a new copy, and I think that's an absolute bargain. I do have an affiliate link in the description below, and it's a great way to support the channel and also, yeah, get yourself a cool photo book. So if you like the look of this, head over to the link. If you liked this video and you found it enjoyable, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps with the algorithm, and comment below, hit subscribe if you haven't. I will have more photo books coming in the future, and everything that I do is in the description below. So I have prints available, and I'm also over on Patreon doing a bunch of fun stuff over there. So check it out. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thank you. Bye.